It's a very important reason for why you're not manifesting the thing that you want in your life. I mean, you've done your inner work, you've done your visualization technique, you have done everything that you could to release your subconscious limiting beliefs, but then nothing's happening. The following reason may surprise you, but it is so important. You see, when we talk about doing the spiritual inner work to manifest the thing that you want, all we talk about is the E word, energy. It's all about your energy, your inner frequencies that you're operating from. And your energy will only shift when your identity shifts. One more time, your energy shifts only when your identity shifts. You see, a lot of times we tend to hold on to a lot of these past identities that no longer serve us. We are afraid of letting go of something deep in us because due to our fears and resistance, we tend to hold on to the comfort zone, even knowing that some of these things are no longer serving us. Sometimes when it comes to our work and business, we stay in the same job that we are no longer passionate about. You're still doing the same old thing, like what you were doing yesterday. So you're just not changing things from the inside out. So that's what's holding you back. Because we know that when you continue to hold on to certain past memories, certain past energetic shifts in your identity, then things are not moving and you're constantly stagnant, being stuck at the same level, being stagnant all the time. So the way to overcome this is I have this technique, what I call the death and rebirth strategy. It's not as morbid as it sounds. So when we talk about having this death and rebirth ritual, what it does is that it reprograms our mind to talk about things that we need to put to an end to. There's certain things that need to die. There's certain things that need to be ended for our greater good. It could be a job that we're no longer passionate about. It could be a relationship that's toxic. It could be certain struggles that continue to hold you back. And even though you know that you have to let go of it, you still somehow cling on to it. And or rather you have not made any efforts to seek help to release it from you. So these are the things that hold you back. So in death and rebirth ritual, in what I do in my spiritual manifestation work, what I do is that I'll make a list of the things that I need to put to an end to, things that I need to die with, things that I need to end in order to bring the new me. And I'm gonna write it down. And then for each item, for each category, I would go through it. I would just read out each item, and then I would just perform the following symbolic action. I'll be like this, snap my finger to tell myself that I'm ready to step into a new timeline. Because all we talk about sometimes, the thing that matters in spiritual manifestation, it's about opening up the timeline. It's about opening the door to something else. So by performing this symbolic action, you're basically sending a signal to your brain, to yourself, to your soul that you are ready to cross into a new door, a new timeline. So you can do, some people, they actually burn something. They actually light a match and burn away a piece of paper. You can do that as well. Or you can easily just snap a finger and tell yourself that I'm done. I'm ready to die with this. I'm ready to let it die, to go through this death with it, ending it. I'm ready to end it, say goodbye to it, and I'm gonna do this. And I open up a new timeline. I'm gonna walk through this door. This is the new me. I'm ready. So even though you're struggling with it, tell yourself, tell God, spirit guides, tell your angels that you're ready to welcome and usher in this new reality. You're ready to die with it. Linking all this to my personal journey, the reason why I'm able to have very powerful transformations for the last few years is because I make it a point to go through this death and rebirth process, to put to death things that no longer serve us, especially my past identities. So I remember during the pandemic, I dealt with this mysterious, painful illness on my skin, and I had to see many doctors and skin specialists to get it treated, but it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't treated despite seeing so many doctors. And the reason, and when I talk to my spiritual healers, when I talk to a lot of spiritual teachers, I realized that the reason why I was dealing with this very painful skin illness on my body was the fact that I was holding on to this past identity in me. At that point in time, I was a struggling, miserable person dealing with my sexual orientation. I was struggling with my sexual orientation. I was an unhappy gay man. My sexual orientation was a source of shame for me, and I went through a lot of struggles, and I could not let go of it. So eventually, the internal shame was manifested into my skin illness, in the form of itches, that I experienced all over my body. So, but the miraculous thing was that once I let go of it, once I make it a point to courageously accept who I am as a gay man, to come out to myself, to have the courage and willingness to love myself, to accept who I really am at my inner core. Guess what? This skin illness of my body, this itch on my body, eventually just faded away without having to go back to the doctor. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredibly, unbelievable? It just defies scientific logic. I mean, it just goes to tell you that sometimes our illnesses are manifestations of problems, not just at the body level, but also at the mental and spiritual level. So to come back to my main point here, the point that I'm trying to share with all of you is that the moment when you tremendously, radically, and courageously shift your identity, the moment when you courageously tell yourself that, hey, enough is enough, I'm ready to die with these past identities, I'm ready to call in a new version of myself. That is the day, that is the moment where you can then, regenerate a new energetic shift within yourself. That is the moment when you finally usher in a new wave of energy to be reborn, to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Yes, so by doing this, you are literally transforming yourself into the phoenix, your phoenix rising from the ashes. So it's incredibly powerful if you do this for yourself, to change your vibrations at the level of your identity. Now, for those who have gone through seminars and personal development talks, you probably have come across this idea as well. Because when you talk about changing your habits, when we talk about changing who you are, at some level, at a very, very deep and fundamental level, you can only change what you do. You can only change all your habits and strategy and whatnot, only when you start changing who you are at your level of your identity. You can only do so once you effect changes at the level of your identity. So you have to change the way you see yourself. You have to change who you are. You have to change the way you think of yourself. For example, if you're running a business, if you are trying to maximize your wealth, manifest your wealth, are you still perhaps seeing yourself as a 9-to-5 employee? Are you still playing small in all your business efforts, in your marketing efforts, in how you show up in your business? Are you still playing small? So for example, if you are pursuing a new relationship, are you perhaps still pursuing the relationship, meeting new people, as if you are still stuck in the victim mentality? You're still stuck in who you were, in your past version of who you were, where you were tormented by your relationship past, where you are still holding on to past memories. Are you coming from the victim mindset where you are holding on to the hurt version of yourself, the traumatized, hurt version of yourself in the past? So it's about time, right? It's about time for you to let go of all this, to tell yourself that there are certain identities that no longer serve you, and you go through and you make an effort to go through this death and rebirth process to call in your new version of yourself. And in some of the upcoming videos, I'll be sharing with you some tips, some really useful strategies that I personally have used to help myself to go up to the next level in my spiritual awakening. So stay tuned for more.